All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jackie Hastings, and I am one of your Sapphire leaders with Team Impact. And I'm really excited tonight to be wrapping up John Maxwell's Winning with People. So these last chapters are about different friendship rules, and man, it's always amazing to me how they're applicable to so many things other than just our business. There's a lot of the stuff from the first chapter or whatever we're calling these section. They're not really numbered, so I don't know if we can call them chapters. But the first part, the friendship principle, right? All things being equal, people will work with people they like. All things not being equal, they still will. So if you're with people that you like, you're going to work hard. Um, and you're achieving great things and you're running along and you're doing great and your friends are awesome. And you know what? If you're really true friends, even when it's not so awesome, you're still so really important. So sometimes in business, we might get wrapped up in the numbers game, or are we winning in our business? Are we doing these things? But it isn't just about those numbers, right? It's about our friendships. It's about how we're relating to people. And keeping that in mind is so important because this is network marketing, guys. And if we're not networking, if we're not working on those friendships, we're not working on those relationships, when stuff hits the fan, because it will, whether you have somebody detoxing or life gets too busy or whatever, if you don't have those good relationships, then your life in different ways. So those are so important to work on. So you have to think about who are your people in your life that are your ride or dies. Who are your people that when everything is going awful, or even when things are going amazing, or like last week when we were in Hawaii and there was things going on with the kids, I didn't ask my friends to do these things, but all of a sudden my kids are at our friend's house every night for dinner. They're having them over, they're doing all these things, and I'm like, Julie, what are you doing? Why are you taking my kids? I had food, I had all these things. She's like, I just thought they needed something. So those are the people that you need to connect with and grow with. So 4 levels of business relationships. So number one, you want people who have people knowledge, right? You want people who have those good understanding of people, how they work. They're going to help you build your business as well, because some of us aren't as good at people skills and we can bounce off of each other. We don't have to be good at everything, but if you surround yourself with people who have different skills than you have, you're going to learn, you're going to grow, you're going to do better, and you're going to help each other in a way too. Service skills. So how many times have you gone somewhere and you're like, I am never going back there again because their service people, their customer service was awful, right? I've done that many places. And if you can't be nice to me, you can't treat me well. If you pay more attention to my husband than me, guess what? I'm not going back there. Right? You don't do my anything with this too. So 70 to 90% of decisions are about repeat purchases, are about someone demonstrating the service relationship, not the price or product. So we've got some people who are like, oh, I can't sell these products. They're too expensive. They're this, they're that. No, what's the value? What are you building up with your people of, you know what? You're not selling a product. You're selling health. You're selling not being fatigued. You're selling sleeping better, not pooping your pants. You're selling so many other really good things. The last Steve, we have people on our team who were doing that and they're not anymore. So it's amazing. So if you're selling those things to people that change their quality of life, that's huge. But if you focus on always, oh, well, I can give you this discount or I can give you that discount, you haven't done diddly squat for a relationship. So those are some things to think about too. Business reputation. Your reputation for relationships helps build your business. So like your relationship is your biggest asset. And sometimes we get off kilter, right? Sometimes we might be focused on hitting that rank or earning some, the paddle ball set, or God only knows what, right? And sometimes we goof up and sometimes we're busy and we don't prioritize. And it's okay to go back into those chats and into those relationships and say, you know what? I am really sorry. I got off kilter and I didn't give you the care that you need and deserve. Can we build back on this? How are things going? What can I do differently? What's the best way to communicate? Can we hop on the phone for 5 minutes? it goes a long way. I mean, if I've been to a doctor and they said, you know what, I don't know. I'm sorry that this didn't work out well, but let's do something differently. That builds a whole lot more faith and trust in that relationship. And odds are I'll continue to see that person versus one who never says they're sorry. They never do the things and they don't try to improve. Um, Personal friendships. Your friendships with others build your business. Even when the odds are against you, friendships can give you the edge with that customer. People like being and working with their friends. Is driving 4.5 hours this weekend down to Tustin on the top of my priority list? Not particularly, but the friendships and the relationships with all of my teammates is 100% worth it. So am I doing it? Yes, I am, because it's that important to me to build the relationships with my people because we don't get to see them all the time. Speaking of that, oh, I have a kid coming down. Okay. Value of friendship. So truth about real friends. Real friends are scarce. If you have a million friends, they're probably more relational than true friends, I would have to say. And that's definitely something that I've been talking to my youngest about because she'd be like, oh, this person's my bestie and this person's my bestie. And all of a sudden she has 8,000 besties. They're not your besties if they're all your besties. So looking at, are they as happy when you succeed as you are when they succeed? How are you sharing in that relationship? Can you give and take? Are they refreshing? Are they energizing? Do they suck the life out of you? If you have to spend time with friends and you're like, oh, every time you're done with them, that's not a true friend. Or you need to check yourself. Real friends make us feel better, and steel sharpens steel. I don't want a friend who's going to drag me down. I don't want a friend who is not trying to do better in their lives, whether it's with their family, their friendships, their relationships with the Lord, their businesses, what they're doing in their community. We can all push each other along. And if your friends aren't doing that, you're probably going to end up down a hole instead of climbing, right? Real friends remain faithful. Um, are they people that you can go back to after a long period of time or something? Or are they somebody that you talk to on a regular basis? Or let's talk about maybe it's somebody that you started doing Plexus with and they quit or they had some detox. If you've got that real relationship with them, even if they quit, you're going to keep that going. And it's not just about the business. So making sure that you're keeping those things going. Then we're on to the next chapter, the partnership principle. So working together increases the odds of winning together. So this is Mother Teresa had this quote, and I just love her. She's super cool. You can do what I cannot do. I can do what you cannot do. Together, we can do great things. You guys, you don't have to be perfect at everything. You don't have to be a super nerd. You don't always have to be, the best person at graphics or anything like that. But find somebody else who is. Work off of each other. And if you work on those strengths of each other and know what others' weaknesses are, you're going to achieve great things. It's super cool. Think about, are others better off because of their partnership with me? You've got to also evaluate yourself. Like, man, does everybody stop talking and kind of get silent or sulk away, or will they not talk to me? Do they have positive things to say? Am I feeding them as much as they're feeding me? We have to look at it both ways. It's not just about the other people, it's about us too. How are we helping others? I loved when they talked about Ben Franklin and how, even though he was super amazing, he still had all of these groups. He realized he wasn't the be all end all do all, and he needed to bounce ideas off of each other and learn and grow and share. And I love how he continued to read. I love that you guys are on book club. That's how we continue to grow as well. You're teaming up for greater goods. Learning to look to others increases the odds of winning together. This is one of those things where three-way chats are super helpful too. They can help you learn and grow. You'll have different communication styles than the other people in your group, all kinds of different things. I have learned from Elizabeth being in my chats. I've learned from being in chats with my level ones. It's really helpful. It goes both ways. So 4 stages to making a difference. So number 1, It's I want to make a difference. It's focusing on what I can do. Is it a too small of a goal for me to achieve, or too small of a number of me to achieve and make good? Think beyond what only you can do. So I might be able to donate to one thing, right? But if we were partnered with Plexus, we can donate a ton of meals to a ton of people. Together, we're going to achieve more. It's that whole cheesy team pneumatic. Um, then we've got number two, I want to make a difference with people. Sometimes we'll make the mistake of wanting to take everybody with you, right? And here's where I have fallen trap at time too, because I see the benefit of this and I'm like, I want everybody to do well and I'm willing to help and push and pull and drag because I know this is great. And then it's not great. It sucks the life out of you and they don't appreciate it and they're not growing in the right way. So not everyone should take the trip. Some lack the passion for the work. And this is where I see a lot of people fail. They want the success, but they don't want to do the work for it. And you can't do it for them. Um, it's a tough lesson to learn. Not everyone wants to take the trip. They don't believe in you or what you're doing. And those people you kind of just have to bless and release. That's the whole bye, Felicia, right? Not everyone can take the trip. Not everyone has the ability. You cannot afford to partner with someone with there is no fit. So if you have somebody that you're just really butting heads, you're just not getting the right fit with, you can either have your upline help you out with that. Sometimes you kind of have to just come to a good conclusion, but don't kill yourself over it. Build those relationships with everyone, but forge partnerships with only a few. It doesn't mean that anybody in those three categories that we just talked about can't be your friend, but you don't want to have a huge partnership with them because it's not mutually beneficial. Number three, I want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference. So those closest to you determine your level of success. We talk about, you're the sum of the five people you're closest to. Look at those people, and if they're not going somewhere and doing great things, I know it sounds harsh, but they're not your business partners. They can be your friends, but they're not your business partners. Find people capable with the same passion and mission of yours who absolutely need others to make that difference. So, number four, I want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference doing something that makes a difference. So this is significant, right? And this is where we talk about building on building and building. And with Celeste Gwen, we were standing in line and just hearing her heart and passion, and what her dad did and all of these different things. So she's making a difference in her community, for her family, for her kids. And then with the company making so many big differences. That's where we want to be. We want to do big things, not little. Stop thinking small. Stop playing small. We're cutting ourselves short. So, the power of partnerships. So you move from the self stage to the sharing stage to the significant stage. And incredible power comes from discovering these partnerships with others. So rewarding and so many benefits. And one of the things that I like about some of my closer friends and some of my closer business partners is we can call each other out on our garbage and still love each other. It's fantastic. It is huge. And that is a sign of personal growth. I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. We can call on each other's faults and say, hey, get your stuff together. What is your deal? And be like, oh, yeah, all right, let's get it together. Thanks for calling me out. Sometimes we need that check. You need those people in your life because they understand what your goals are, what their goals are. And when you're failing and you're not doing those things, you're also failing your friends and a whole bigger picture. So it's huge. Okay. When you partner with others, you lose nothing. And so I'm one of those people who in school did not want to work in groups because they were annoying. I would do the work. People wouldn't do it the right way and it'd drive me nuts. But if you find the right partners, it's a good thing. So make sure you're partnering with good people and it just decreases your workload and you all build each other together. A candle loses nothing when it lights another candle. Sharing is not losing something. So that's where we start to worry about that scarcity or abundance mindset. So if I share some information with somebody, or if I share posts, or if I share, different ideas on things that I've been seeing for growth, I'm not taking anything away from me. I am sharing it with others and they're growing and they're sharing with others. And all of a sudden we have a huge glow. So make sure that you're not keeping your little light to yourself. When you partner with others, you help yourself. Um, the best way to cheer others up, excuse me, to cheer yourself up is to cheer everybody else up. Like, how excited do we get when we see somebody in our team succeed? How excited do we get when we see one of our kids starting to do something new? It didn't take anything from us. And we're more excited. I've been more excited when my kids or teammates have achieved goals than when I have. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. I don't know, but I get super excited about that, complimenting them, doing those things, seeing them grow. And I'm like, man, that's fuel for me. So share the ownership with the right people. If you do this right, you're going to spend a lot of hours with them. So pick ones you really enjoy working with. Like, seriously, I spent a lot of time with Elizabeth this past week. If we didn't like each other, that would not have been fun, right? Um, so when you partner with others, you're rewarded with hope. So make sure you go on page 257 and you look at those questions. And I want you to really think about this first one. What does making a difference mean to you, your dream? And what steps are you willing to take to achieve it? So there's like a big thought question to ponder over the weekend. Just that first one is huge. So next page. Hang on, I got my notes. Bear with me. They're sticking together. Okay. Last one, satisfaction principle. A joy shared is a joy doubled. Um, and your greatest satisfaction. So you admire and respect those who sustain long-term solid relationships. When you see couples that have been married for 50 years, 60 years, all of those things, does it bring you joy? I'm like, man, it's so exciting. And you think about it's not all sunshines and rainbows in a marriage. It's not all sunshine and rainbows in a business. It's not all sunshine and rainbows in anything, right? And it's knowing that you've got the right fit and you've got the right things going, that you sustain that, you fight through the hard times, and then you go, doggone it, we've done that. That's awesome. When I think about being with my husband, we've been together more of our lives now than we haven't been together, which to me is crazy. I think about Plexus, and I've been with this since 2016. That's a long time. That's longer than I've worked any other job in my life. It's crazy. Most people only stay at a job for a PT, they say 3 years at max is usually how long a PT stays in a job. So to be in this for that long is pretty doggone cool. So think about those things. A lasting relationship begins as a healthy relationship with these 4 factors. One, shared memories create a bonded environment. So if you've listened to Elizabeth, she talks about, one time she was crying in her soup in PT school and I helped her out. I don't even remember that. I was in so much trauma. I didn't even remember that, but she does. Rochelle, we've got a lot of fun shared memories we laugh about too. If we think about these different things, they're great. They bring us together, whether they were on positive or negative experiences where you can sit and laugh at them. That's always great. Growing together creates a committed environment. In the beginning of a relationship, that's excitement of starting together. Continuing relationships, that's a commitment to sticking together. Lasting, you get that joy of staying together. And through all of those stages, the bridge is growth. And that growth is the relationship growth. That's your growth. That's your partner's growth. We're doing that in our businesses too. We're doing that with our spouses. We're doing that with our kids. All relationships grow either together or apart. And there's times where you may have grown together and then for God only knows what reasons you split apart for a while and then you come back together and you're like, oh man, you go back to those stages and you're like, yes, this is why we were friends. This is why we did this stuff. What in the world did we do? Why did we stop? Who knows? So you've got to really be intentional about growing together with your teammates, with your spouse, with your kids. Set up those stupid dates. Set up a coffee date with your teammates. Hop on the phone for 5 minutes even with them. You've got to make the effort to do it, or you do grow apart and then you stop growing. Mutual respect creates a healthy environment. Creating trust is huge. That's a foundation of all relationships. If I can't trust you, I don't really want anything to do with you. I'm sorry. I'll wave at you, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do anything for you. I have to tell you, that's the truth. Um, it engenders servanthood. So you're going to be more willing to do something for someone else that you respect, right? If you guys were to call me up, I respect you guys, and you're like, "Hey, Jackie, I need help with this." I'm be like, "Heck yeah, I'll do it." I believe in you. I trust in you. We have that mutual respect. And then that's a safe environment. And that's somewhere when someone loves you with no strings attached and no personal agenda, it's the most freeing thing in the world. And we have to think about that with our people that we're starting. We have to think about that with our business partners, all those things. We're not just here for their business. We're not just here because we're getting something from them. If they choose to take a different pathway, say, you know what, that's okay. Love them and let them do their thing, still love them along the way. And then you can continue to grow. So, that's kind of some of the things that I have in a nutshell from these chapters. I would love to hear any takeaways from the rest of you too.
Trying to find my mute button. It like disappeared. I couldn't get to my screen. Yeah. So what I was thinking about when I was reading these chapters is finding your people, like finding the 5 people that you want to build this business with, that you want to grow with, that challenge you, that have different strengths as you. And we always say like you want to appeal to people who are the green personality, the blue personality, the yellow personality, the red personality, because we all come to the team with different strengths and we can bounce those strengths off each other. And then what I was thinking was like staying close to that fire, right? Like find the people that you want to be with, stay close to the fire, use that energy to like collaborate and show the excitement and the community and draw people into that, right? Like if you're, constantly together and doing things and showing these exciting things, people are going to want to join you for you. Um, Jackie, when you were talking about we're not selling products, we're selling lifestyle changes, we're selling health changes, and we're selling ourselves. Like people are going to buy because they trust you. They're going to see what you're posting, they're going to see how authentic you are, they're going to see your integrity of what you're doing. If you're posting about like health products and you're out showing pictures of your McDonald's every day, people are going to be like, I'm not going to take health advice from her. But if you're on, Facebook showing your walking or your exercising or your healthy recipes, like they're going to start to, show like this person has integrity. They know what they're talking about, and then they're going to purchase from you. They want to know who you are. So, yeah, that's a couple of the takeaways that I got from here.
Those are great points. Finding your people that you want to be with. We always talk about when we earn different trips and whatnot, it's so much more fun when we have our people with us. I love the time with my husband. I love the time with my team, but I would love to do it with more people. It's so much more fun. And um going to with that selling ourselves and being real and authentic, when we're posting and we're doing these things, if we're only posting plexus or healthy stuff once in a blue moon, people don't think we're really very serious. um being consistent with that, making sure your storefront is open all the time so people realize that this is something real and serious that you're taking seriously. Because if I'm going to drop $100 and get into something that I might not really know a whole lot about, I want someone who really seems like they know what they're doing, they're committed, and all of that stuff. So those things are really important. And I think it's important to be real about that too. So those are great, great points, Rochelle.
I agreed. Lots of good points. And I loved what you shared too, Jackie. The chapters also just made me think too, we do things together, we have fun. It's funner to do it with your team too, but also remembering to share this too. Because, thinking back to like the color personalities, we have those blue personalities that are really more drawn to doing things together, to the trips, the fun things. And, it's not fun to go and do things alone. So showing this picture, painting that part of the thing too, because I mean, part of what keeps me with Plexus on top of all the other amazing things is all of you guys and, getting together and do book clubs and going to convention and dancing and all of the things too, because it makes a difference and it's kind of that extra piece that we need too. So sharing this, getting together in person with our team, you know, brings people in and makes that connection so we can keep the relationship going too, even if you don't all live close by.
So important. And what's really cool is connecting with people with all those different personalities, connecting with the nerd side, connecting with the, super driven side, connecting with the party people side, connecting with your fun people side. We're able to do all of that. And as I'm looking at the people on call tonight, I see lots of different colors there. And it's amazing because we can fill all of those color needs and we can draw and pull on each other. And yet we're coming together for a common good. And I think it's great. I mean, this really is for anyone. And just making sure, like, as we're posting, as we're doing those things, as we're talking to our teammates, that we're hitting on all that, making sure we're not nerding them to death, making sure we're that was one of my flaws, right? Making sure that we're getting those relationships, making sure find what drives them, what kinds of things are they interested in, and making sure that you're pulling on those things too, versus only using your own personality. It's super important. All right. Okay. So anybody got any final words?
Shout out to all of you on the friendship principle. And my son too. He's kind of like a shining example to me. He's definitely like a yellow personality, and he's frequently told me that friends are the most important thing to him. He would die if he found out that he let one of his friends down. But all of you are awesome examples to me. Who's more like a lot like Jackie. We're nerdy, we dig into the details and the numbers and the facts and the figures, and you compliment us in the fact that we have to open up and connect with people, and together we can achieve more. So shout out to all of you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I love that, Steve. It's in all of us. God didn't make us to be alone, right? So made us all special. So with that, if does anybody have any other final words before I wrap up here? Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay, perfect. So this book has been amazing. We're learning about people. We're learning about all of that stuff. I appreciate everybody getting on here. I'm gonna hit end recording here, and then I got some other words for you. So hang on. Let me hit stop. Yes.